Hello. Oh, click the wrong thing. There we go. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sports live preview of this weekend's Bundesliga, and this will be one of our live watch-alongs, which will start at 2:25 p.m. and the game will kick off at 2:30, and that is the UK time. If you're in Europe, it'll be obviously probably an hour ahead, which is at 3:30. That is the local time for this game, and it is Frankfurt versus Bayern Munich. Now, this will be a very interesting game because really RB Leipzig depend on Frankfurt to just make sure that the title race has an even more reduced gap. If Leipzig can win this weekend and Bayern Munich don't get a win, and we all saw back on Monday night, which caused to be quite a shock at the Bayern Munich stadium. They were 3-1 down against a team fighting to stay in the league of Bielefeld, and they ended up drawing 3-3. Of course, this was just days after they came back from Qatar for winning the Club World Cup and being crowned the world champions. But there's no excuses for a team like Bayern Munich. The standard is there. They are used to winning the league with these players. But and of course, they'll be hoping that they can repeat the similar performance they had against Frankfurt back in October when they won 5-0, including a Robert Lewandowski hat-trick, which just summed up his 2020 year in football. But Frankfurt are on good form. They're third in the league and they're on a very, very good run at the moment. I'm with Sebastian True and Seb. I'm feeling all German tonight. I wouldn't mind a pint of German beer right now because it's a Friday night. But we must talk about this match because I'm very excited. Because if Bayern Munich slip up again, I think Leipzig might just get a chance at the title again.
Yeah, considering that also Bayern Munich in the coming weeks, well, they've got the Champions League to deal with against Lazio, but then in the coming weeks they will play against Dortmund. Then not long after that Lazio match, they'll come up against RB Leipzig, and then they'll have Wolfsburg afterwards. So the fixtures are starting to look a bit harsher to Bayern Munich than they did before. This is a good chance for Frankfurt to make sure that they have a say in the title race. They can give a nice uppercut to Bayern Munich ahead of their, I'd say, tough fixture list. And these games are usually quite good. In 5 of the last 7 games where these two sides have played each other, one of the teams has scored at least 5 goals, or actually scored 5 goals exactly. So, what we could probably, if you're a betting man and you want to bet 5 goals in the game, this is the game to bet on. I mean, last time Bayern Munich crushed Frankfurt 5-0. Last season, Frankfurt crushed Bayern 5-1, where it was eventually Kovac's last match as Bayern Munich manager. They're always good matches, and we've got the two top goal scorers as well with Lewandowski and Andre Silva. Andre Silva probably not a surprise to some, a surprise to others that he's ahead of Haaland, but there are reasons for that. He's played more games. And even if you just look at the form table, in their last 5 games, both Frankfurt and Bayern have picked up 13 points. They're both first and second, respectively, in the last 10 games as well, where Frankfurt have picked up 26 points and Bayern have picked up 25. Frankfurt have had some easy fixtures lately. They started the season quite badly, just constant draws. But now, in the last 8 games or so, I think they've played the bottom 6 teams. So I wouldn't read too much into this Frankfurt team right now. I think there's still a way to go. Maybe they could really go for it. I'm not really sure if Huntner's going to play. Hutter. I can't say his name. Hutter's going to take the risk of putting maybe Jovic and Silva on the pitch against Bayern Munich. I think there's definitely something to exploit with Bayern's weak defense. But yeah, we both know we love watching German football, and this is probably the matchup of the weekend.
I think as well though with Frankfurt, I mean I think we all know the manager and the team. I mean okay, they're 10 points behind Bayern Munich for top spot at the moment. And I'm sure deep down it's like Man United are with Solskjaer. He said, we don't see ourselves as title contenders. I wouldn't be surprised if the Frankfurt team see it like that as well. But they must look at that second position and think, if we could get a win over Bayern Munich, we will then get ourselves 3 points behind Leipzig. If they can get that second spot at the end of the season, what a season that'll be for Frankfurt.
Frankfurt for the past 5 years, I'd say, have been very slowly going up in the table. So I think about 4 years ago, they finished 11th. Then they went to 10th or 8th, somewhere around there, and they're just gradually getting higher. So this is work the Kovac started, and that Hutter has taken over from Kovac in 2018. So there are some good young prospects in that team. There's also a reasonable amount of experience, but they're they're on the right track. The squad is thin, which is something you'd worry about, but they definitely can say, yeah, well, we've got something to say in the title race. They've only got the league to play now. They're out of the cup. They've got no European competition, so they can definitely push on. I reckon it might be tough for them to finish in the top four spot, but even if they finished fifth, that's still a very successful season for Frankfurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Champions League football, because I'm right thinking it's the top four, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the top four. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, straight away that is it's very interesting for Frankfurt to get into Champions League football, and I think they definitely will. Let's just go through who's out for both teams. So at the moment, there's only one for Frankfurt, which is Sauer, and he's suspended. No injuries or anything. There is a doubtfulness for Durham with a knock injury, but that's it really in terms of Frankfurt. They've got a strong squad at the moment, and the probable lineups for Frankfurt is Trapp in goal, Tuta, Hinteregger, and Dicker in defence. Then in midfield, Torre, Rodi, Hazabi, the captain with Kostic, and then up front with Kamada and Eunice, and then of course, as you mentioned, Seb, one of the top goal scorers, Andre Silva, up top. And then the Bayern Munich team, well, there's a bit of a list going on here, Seb, which is not what you want when you're trying to defend the title with just not that many games to go. With Costa out, metatarsal, Gnabry is out with a hamstring, Muller, of course, COVID-19, so they're still sussing him out, so he won't be included. Nianzo out with thigh injury, and Nubo with ankle, and Pavard, Seb's favourite player, COVID again, and Tolisso is also out with a thigh. So I think Frankfurt are playing Bayern Munich at just the right time, and it's a home game.
Yeah, and also one thing that Frankfurt, I mean, I did mention that they had a reasonably easy fixture list before this Bayern Munich game, but like you just mentioned, the starting lineup, I'm almost certain it will be that sort of starting lineup because they've done one thing in the past few games. It's a set lineup. They had injuries at the beginning of the season, people in and out of the squad, but even Jovic isn't getting in the starting lineup now. But this is a set 11 that Hutter knows he wants to play, and this will probably most likely be the one that plays against Bayern Munich. Whereas Bayern Munich, they've been experimenting different systems recently. Kimmich was a right back the other day, but moved up into centre midfield, and almost like traces of what Pep Guardiola left over. And I'm not really sure what to expect from Bayern Munich. Without Muller, that team looks like it needs to concentrate on every single different area a bit more, and then they seem to be lacking in work rate. This is definitely the time to play Bayern Munich. There's no denying now with the injury list that you've just mentioned. But Bayern Munich still are Bayern Munich in this league, and they are without doubt the favourite for this one. I do think Frankfurt. It depends on how if they go for it, then they might get something. If they try and sit back and not concede, then Bayern are going to score, and that's a certainty. And they're not exactly solid defensively. They've conceded the same amount of goals as Bayern Munich in the league this season, 29 goals, and those are the two highest conceders in the top four at the moment. So yeah, they'll probably have to really go for it to get under Bayern Munich's skin.
Of course, there's one plus point for Hansi Flick, which I believe Jerome Boateng, one of their main centre-backs, is going to be back for this game. And of course, let's not forget he had to fly back to Germany when they were in Qatar, so he pretty much missed the Club World Cup celebrations when they won that last week. So, of course, it's good to see him back after what happened with his ex-girlfriend sadly passing away. I've not really read much into that, but it obviously isn't good news either way with whatever happened there. But at least there, Seb, he could hopefully be mentally focused on this game and get himself going again. But, you know, Bayern Munich with Boateng and Alaba, I think that's the best you can get in defence.
Yeah, but they're probably going to go with Hernandez and Sula, in my opinion. And
have you heard
probably
about
Alaba.
Sula? He's linked to
depends what.
Chelsea.
That's a weird one. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't get over that.
Yeah, but okay. So just to bring it back a bit more to Frankfurt. Sorry, I don't mean to be bringing up Frankfurt all the time, but in these past few games, it's quite often not Frankfurt defenders that score, and Frankfurt's young French centre back Ndikia, is currently on a 2-game streak where he scored a goal. So maybe he might get a goal against Bayern Munich. I'm just putting it out there.
Hat-trick of games. Are you going to put that
Hat-trick
as
of
first
games.
goal scorer,
Well,
Seb?
in the past 5 matches, I think where Frankfurt have scored against Bayern Munich, the defenders have completely outscored the strikers. So we're talking about Silva, but defender might get one against Bayern Munich. But yeah, coming back to Boateng, it was a shame to see him not participate in the Club World Cup. He's still a big part of that team. He's no matter if he's on the bench or starting. So yeah, it's a shame to see him miss out on that one. But it'll be at least now Hansi Flick can be reassured that he's got a few defensive options on the bench.
Yeah.
Especially with Lazio coming up midweek. He'll need to rotate, and he knows that more than anyone else right now. And that's where Bayern Munich might be sought out in Europe if they don't rotate enough, if they completely utilize Kimmich to the max in midfield because they've got no other midfielders fit. So Goretzka's back, so maybe he might play there. Maybe Kimmich is rested. I don't know. But the injury list is not looking good for Bayern Munich at the moment, and maybe Frankfurt do get something from this game. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Tell you what, Seb, let's wrap it up then with our predictions. I'm going to go for a surprise win for Frankfurt, and I think they're going to win by 3-1. I just have this feeling Bayern Munich have not been convincing this season, but they've done enough to obviously be top of Bundesliga and, of course, be the favourites again to win the league title. But that game against Bielefeld, I think they needed that in a way. I think that was coming with the results that they'd been getting in the last few months. And even some of the commentators, well, one of the regular commentators they have on the Bundesliga on BT Sport, I don't know his name, but he's been saying it week in, week out, and I have to agree with him. It's been building. So, who knows? Frankfurt playing them at the right time, and I think they can do it. Let's hope it is going to be an entertaining game tomorrow. Seb, your predictions?
I'm going to go for the boring follow the rhythm of what happens in Bayern Munich games. So last time Bayern Munich drew 3-3, it was against Leipzig, and the next game they drew 1-1 against Union Berlin. So I'm going to go for the 1-1 there because they drew 3-3 last time. I guess this is going to be a 1-1, but quite cagey. So quite cagey for a Bundesliga match. And I'm saying that talking about the 2 top scoring teams in the league, but yeah, I think it'll be 1-1.
I guess really for Frankfurt, I mean, obviously if you could get an early goal, it's a great start, but they must know what Bayern Munich are like if you get an early goal. I mean, they showed that against Bielefeld, they showed that against Mainz. They love a comeback, don't they?
Yeah, and it's not only just those 2 times, it's so many times. It was at the period of 8 games in a row where they came from behind to win. They're relentless when they're attacking. It's just that they can be very asleep when defending, and that's where you've got to exploit them. And you'd hope that Andre Silva manages to prove to Europe now that he is this top-class striker that we've been hoping. But I'm just reading now that apparently he is a doubt with a back injury, so
Oh dear.
that's not looking good. But if Jovic comes in, more for him to prove as well.
Absolutely. Anyway, thanks to Seb for our preview for Frankfurt versus Bayern Munich. Don't forget, folks, it doesn't end there. The party starts tomorrow at 2:25, as that's when our watch-along begins with myself, Jamie, and Seb. We'll be keeping you up to date on the game. Do join us. Do join us on the live chat page as well. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Feel free to share your predictions, you name it, and also let us know in the comments below in this preview video. Don't forget to subscribe to Let's Talk Sport, and then you can get those updates about our watch-alongs coming up on the channel. We'll be back very soon live as we will preview Schalke versus Borussia Dortmund. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in just a bit.